Alright, folks, so we're going to do a part 2 tonight because there are some things that needs to be discussed. So we're going to talk about the Thanksgiving Day schedule that was released today. We're also going to talk about an issue in the Long Island Railroad tonight that we just had. And we're going to talk about something urgent regarding TWU Local 100 and the MTA in regards to the contract talks. We have a big development tonight. So, first, let's get into this problem I have with the Thanksgiving Day schedule. Alright, first of all, we know that Sunday service will be available 2 weeks from today, Thursday, November 28th, in observance of the federal holiday Thanksgiving. Saturday's schedule will be in effect for the Staten Island Railway. That's the main thing. More importantly, there will be no 7 Express, there will be no 6 Express trains. B-Train will not operate. B-Train doesn't run on weekend schedules. We have J local service. No C trains. M trains will only run between Middle Village, Metropolitan Avenue, and Delante Essex Street in Brooklyn. N trains will run local in Manhattan. So it looks like a lot of people are going to have to use the Q train for express service. And more importantly, no W's because, again, on weekends, W trains do not run. Also, very important for the Bronx, 5 and D trains will run local. 5 service will run between Bowling Green and Dyer Avenue. So there will be no 5 train in Brooklyn, it seems. Unless, hang on, I can look at my subway map to confirm this information. It's Dyer Avenue. Let's take a look at this. We can just Google it. I don't need to look at my phone. We'll just quickly look at Dyer Avenue. Hopefully the computer will cooperate. Dyer Avenue subway. Do apologize. Yes, like I figured. I knew that was the Bronx. I knew that was the Bronx. See, I know a little bit of my Bronx geography thanks to Jason and my dad. Because my dad is originally from the Bronx, so that's why I can thank him for that. And Jason, of course. Now, let's discuss what I have a problem with. The day after, Black Friday. This is very shameful. Very shameful. No limited bus service in Staten Island and in Queens. In Queens! Do you know people have to go back to work on Friday? So now, the bus routes I know that run limited, the Q27, the Q43, the Q46, they're not going to be running limited. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It is the busiest shopping day of the year. Why don't they have limited bus service? This is completely unacceptable. Especially how, again, I keep saying, and by the way, I am going to bring this up in the new year, that there needs to be a way to have limited bus service at Long Island Jewish starting at 4 o'clock, heading westbound, because it's ridiculous that when my office closes, like I know this for a fact, most employees who have office jobs in Northwell, outside of me, they travel on peak at 4 o'clock. I'm an off-peak traveler, so I don't have to deal with the overcrowding. And it makes it worse that when the Q46 doesn't run limited westbound in the afternoons, that makes it worse. And now, on Black Friday, it's going to even get worse. So if you work at Northwell on Friday, and you have to take the Q46 limited, I know one of my fellow colleagues does that, I do feel bad for her. She is going to be in a rude awakening if she has to go to work on Friday, because I have to discuss it with her. But I will give her the heads up, because, I have taken the Q46 with her before in the limited. But this is the point. This is the point. I am very annoyed about this. And thankfully, I'm staying home on Black Friday. I don't go to work on Fridays anyway, but this is the point. This is pure discrimination right here. We should be having limited bus service in Queens. It's a normal weekday. It should be normal weekday service. I'm sorry for banging on my desk. But if you're going to have 7 Express on normal service on Friday, then limit... Oh, Forgot to mention the Q17. That also runs limited. So, now, the people who want limited bus service to get to an express train in Flushing are not going to have that now. This is fantastic. This made me so angry when I read that today. This is when I was on the Q46. So, imagine seeing this. Like, I kept my cool on the bus because I was like, I'm going to have to wait till I get home to react to this guy. I couldn't do it earlier, but I had to vent about it. And by the way, Cuomo corruption, I do feel bad for you, man. Because now in Staten Island, he's not going to have limited bus service too. So now he's screwed. Now he's screwed if he has to go somewhere on Black Friday. Well, the main thing is this is important for him and all my other Staten Island viewers. S89 Limited will still run. So if you do need the S89 Limited, you can take that bus. So I'm just curious, because again, I'm not familiar with Staten Island buses. Let's just see if that goes to the Staten Island Mall at least. Because if that's a bus that goes to the Staten Island Mall, then you need that route to go limited. That's no question. Okay, so this is between Highland Boulevard, Richmond Avenue, and Hudsonburg and Light Rail. What? This goes into New Jersey? Okay, this is a little bit odd. This bus goes into New Jersey? Wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that. This is very interesting. Look at that. Hudsonburg and Light Rail. It goes right to PATH train. Look at that. Alright, so this looks like it doesn't go to, oh, okay, it goes over the Bayonne Bridge, but wow. Oh my god. So that means if anybody needs limited bus service to Staten Island Mall, because again, maybe, because I know Cuomo Corruption's name on YouTube is Advanced Player. Cuomo Corruption, if you can tell me or the viewers what bus routes run limited to the Staten Island Mall, please let everybody know about this, because, again, this is just discrimination. This warrants a Title VI. It kind of does. I don't know if I would file it, but I'd have to consider it, because I'm just annoyed that, again, Q17, Q27, Q43, and Q46 are not going to be limited 2 weeks from this Friday. Just really gets me riled up. Alright, so let's talk about what happened on the Long Island Railroad tonight. Once again, second time this week, another unauthorized vehicle was on the tracks. So I mentioned to you earlier in my rant at Long Island Jewish that there was a vehicle that was on the tracks by Celebrity Moving on the train tracks along New Hyde Park Road where the main line links up right by the New Hyde Park train station. This time along the Montauk branch, we had an unauthorized vehicle earlier this evening around 6 p.m. That was by the vicinity of Bayshore. There was no service between Babylon and Patchogue. So pretty much they got this car out pretty quickly, which I'm going to admit that. We had one canceled train, 6:33 train from Penn due to Babylon at 7:35 was terminated. So they had to make, oh my bad, 6:33 train. Next train was 6:36. Okay, not going to get into that. So let's go into a timeline of these tweets. So this first tweet was sent out at 6:07 p.m. So again, I want to thank Matt Camper for making me aware of this. And then the car was removed, believe it or not, only took about 45 minutes. Almost 45 minutes. That's not that bad. And just about 17 minutes ago at 7:44 p.m., service was on or close to schedule between Babylon and Patchogue along the Montauk branch. So that is very good news in regards to that. So again, this was at the 3rd Avenue grade crossing. So we're now going to get a look to see what kind of area this is. So let's see what we can find here. So again, this is Bay Shore. I'm a little bit familiar with this area because I have a friend who I went to Gersh Academy with who was from this area, and the Peter Pan Diner is on right near Sunrise Highway. Yep, look at this. This is why, again, these grade crossings have to be elevated. This is the exact reason why. And I'll show you a grade crossing that I am very familiar with out in Islip, if we can find it, just to prove a point. So I know I can find it. So I know it's a little bit east of, I think it's east of 231. I believe it's east. I just don't remember it at the moment. I can find it. Oh yeah, I know where it is, on 111. So where is 111? I don't see 111 anywhere. Ah, okay, here's 111. So Bay Shore is east. Right, now I remember. So I know this grade crossing very well on Islip Avenue. I think this is the one they should raise by Brookwood Hall Park. Yep. Every time I go to the Okanoki Diner, we always go by this grade crossing. Yep. You know how easy it is a vehicle can get onto the tracks? Very easy. So that's what happened tonight on the Long Island Railroad. So now we're going to get into a very important situation. And again, folks, please, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Tomorrow, I will have highlights of the MTA board meeting. As soon as I'm done editing this video and getting it out tonight, I will work on it. Now, I don't know what time I'll have the video up tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to have it up. Because tomorrow I have to tape the Queen's News update, but that shouldn't be an issue. So, now we're going to get into contract talks breaking down between the Transit Workers Union and the MTA. So, the unfortunate story was, earlier tonight, this was reported sometime after 6 o'clock. Talks between TWU Local 100 and the MTA. Both sides have broken down. They have met since Monday. So it seems the last 3 days, they were working on a federal holiday. Wow. Well, remember, the MTA is a 365-day-a-year operation, so keep that in mind. Alright, so we'll get to Tony Utano in just a second, but he claims that the MTA contract demands have only made tense situation worse. The union has released a statement, and of course they have called out Mr. Patrick Foy, who, by the way, I will show you a picture of this guy from Jason's account. I'm going to show you this guy. Because this man was falling asleep today. You want to see the picture? Here it is. Proof right here. Pat Foy falling asleep during public speaking comments today. Can you believe that a chairman fell asleep on the job today? Wow. You can't make this stuff up. So, let's go to Mr. Utano, who, by the way, if Tony Utano's watching, you have a lot of stamina. Alright? I gotta give you credit. It's just like my dad. Well, even though my dad's coming off a cold, but still. He kind of reminds me of the same stamina Bo Dito has. But anyhow, Tony Utano said, "These 2 days of bargaining have actually set us back. Foy presented us with a new set of demands today that are substantially worse than the insulting package he threw across the table 3 months ago. Foy not only appears unwilling to negotiate in good faith, he is intentionally spoiling for a confrontation." So this is just going to get worse. And I'll mention that even though I couldn't watch the full board today because I wanted to take a look at New Jersey Transit, I'm not even going to get into New Jersey Transit because you could just watch the video for yourself because I described everything in that description. Okay. So no new talks is scheduled. So The issues are, of course, wages, pension, and health benefits, but I also think that another factor should be employee safety. And also, I'll mention, why hasn't there been a safety meeting scheduled recently? I've noticed that. There hasn't been a safety meeting in months. There needs to be one scheduled in the new year. That's all I'm going to be saying. There has to be something scheduled for 2020. Alright, so comes among rising tensions at the MTA and accusations of widespread overtime abuse. Back on Wednesday, October 30th, members of Transit Workers Union Local 100 rallied outside of MTA headquarters, from bus drivers and subway operators to station cleaners and track inspectors. All of them working without a contract for nearly 6 months. So this is something else that I didn't realize as well. MTA officials have claimed that they've been bargaining in good faith. But here's something else that's interesting. And again, I'm going to have to talk about this in January, because this should not be... I'm sorry, but I hope we're not going to have a situation like 2005 where we had a strike a few days before Christmas. So we cannot afford to have that happen again. Alright? Look at this. Long Island Railroad and Metro North also have not had working contracts. So apparently, there's no working contracts. Can you believe this, folks? This is completely unprecedented. We could have a strike. I can never imagine a thought or a prospect where all three MTA entities of commuter services, right? We're talking New York City Transit, the Long Island Railroad, and Metro North Railroad, all on strike at the same time. This could happen. And again, you know who the problem is. It's not Tony Utano. It's Pat Foy. It's Pat Foy. Okay? And I'm going to ask Progressive Action to please make a video regarding this. Because I know the guy who does it pretty well. He spoke back in... Right, this is October. And he ripped up the contract. So, if he's mad about that, I'm sure he's mad. I'm sure he's mad. I would be in the same situation. Trust me. If this is how my union was getting treated, not because you degraded the union workers by wishing Italian stereotypes on them. Pat Foy walks out on Vice President Pete Rusconi last month. The Vice President. And then this. And then it had to come down to this. This has been boiling since October. Realize this, folks. This has been going on since October. Oh, and not to mention, very important, the 2-minute speaking limit. President Utano should have gotten more time to speak back in September. I will admit that right now. And again, this is my message to Tony Utano. Keep up the good fight. This is your battle. Because Pat Foy has degraded you. He degraded your Vice President, Pete Rusconi. He's degrading Progressive Action. Pat Foy does not support organized labor. Remember that. Just like how my colleagues at Northwell Health, they get represented by 1199 SEIU. At least they don't get degraded in other positions of my hospital. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to call out David Mack. David Mack is probably supporting Pat Foy's antics of degrading TWU Local 100. I bet he is. You don't think he is? I bet he is. I am hoping, and this is my message to any of the board members. I'm not going to go by names here. But somebody needs to come forward and stand with TWU Local 100. Because if I was a board member, like Anthony Simon, and like John Samuelson, and by the way, John Samuelson, if you are watching this video, I did watch you today. You were on fire. You were on complete fire. I gotta give you big kudos, man. Those are the only two people we know right now who stand with TWU Local 100. There has to be somebody else who's not cold-hearted who supports the union. Maybe Andy Byford. Maybe. There are signs that the union workers do like him. Just like how I like him too. Jason likes him. Matt likes him. John from Pine Power LI likes him. I'm sorry to rant. Oh, Cuomo Corruption, I forgot about you. You like him too. This is my time to speak. MTA should be giving us 5 minutes. That's another thing we should talk about. New Jersey Transit gets to speak for 5 minutes. Why not MTA? Somebody got to speak for 5 minutes at the Metro North Long Island Railroad Committee back on Tuesday. I had to rush through my speech because there were some personal things, personal emotions that I felt for with Larry Shorts and Sarah Feinberg. There are some board members who I care about, especially Andrew Albert, who, by the way, he was on Channel 7 tonight. He was very sincere. Alright? So, before I lose my voice, I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to wrap it up because my work here is done. So thank you all for watching. Please stay tuned tomorrow for a highlight video of the board meeting. I will have it working on it as soon as I'm done putting this video up. So the next one, please take care.